All right, excellent. Yay. All right. Let's get started. Welcome. My name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your host for this afternoon, where, yes, we are going to talk about grants and how you can still get grants for your nonprofit or your small business. Yes. So, this is going to be exciting. I am in Ohio. So as you come in, give your city and your state a shout out. Let me know where you are coming in from. I'm in the great state of Ohio. Michelle, where are you coming in from? Michelle is coming in from Brooklyn. Brooklyn is up in the house. And Kenyona, is that right? Kenyona? Tampa, Florida. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. The rest of you, come on in. Come on in. And let me know where you are coming in from. Rosemond. Is that right? Rosemond, Jacksonville. Look at Florida showing up. And Deidre credit from Seattle. Seattle. Deidre, I was just with Keisha earlier this year in Seattle. Yes. So welcome, Deidre. And Sheena is coming in from Chi-Town, Chi-Town. All right, so we're going to get started because this is super important information that I need to share with you. But I need for you to make a promise to me right from the beginning. I need for you to say that you are going to share this information with other women-owned businesses and other women-led nonprofits. We have to move together. And so this is information that you want to be able to share with your colleagues, with people that you know, because some of this information that I share with you, you have not heard anywhere else. All right. So this is going to be new information for a lot of you, but I want you to be able to share it with your other colleagues and other women-led organizations that you know, because we have to support each other. All right. That's right, Kenyatta, share with everybody because again, a lot of this information they're not telling you. You're not seeing this on TV. You're not seeing this in the media. All right. So let's get started as we welcome Cornelia from North Carolina. All right. Tinkle Paw. What a unique and beautiful name. Tinkle Paw. All right. Let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me make sure the presentation is up and running. All right, so we're going to share. There we go. So now you should all be able to see my screen. So this is grant writing for women-owned businesses and women-led nonprofits. This is my live noon session. And let me just start off by formally introducing myself. Yes, my name is Linda Peavy, and they call me the Grants Queen because I have secured this over $18 million now in funding and business development for clients. And this is year 17 of me owning my business, year 17 of me being in the grant industry. You have to give your receipts at the beginning because I tell you, I am seeing some imposters on Facebook, on social media, right? So know who's leading you, know who's teaching you. All right. So I've held my company, LaPav Consulting, for 17 years now. My undergraduate and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips. And I now teach grant writing all over the country for smaller organizations, private organizations, right? But also some of your major organizations like NAWBO, which is the National Association of Women Business Owners, the Urban League, Goldman Sachs, where I am a proud alumnus of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. Now, I have a business, yes, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So I've been on both sides of this coin. All right. So let me know in the chat who is here with me today. Are you a nonprofit or are you a small business? Or maybe you're both, because I'm finding that a lot of small businesses are opening nonprofits, right? So let me know. Small business, nonprofit, or maybe you are both. Let's see who we have. Both working towards small business. Excellent. Nonprofit. Leader. Nonprofit. Excellent. So let me tell you, you're in the right place because there are grants for both. I'm going to say this again so you get it. There are grants for both small businesses and nonprofits. All right, so you're in the right place. All right, so let's keep it moving. Now, how did I get here? How did I get in this space? I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania. I was there for 10 years and then I got hurt. When I got hurt, I had to move from Pennsylvania back home to Cleveland, where I was born and raised, to be seen by the Cleveland Clinic, of course, one of the best hospitals in the world. And so I went from like traveling the world with this beautiful position to having the floor literally just drop out, right? And I went from traveling the world to moving everything I own into a storage unit in Cleveland, Ohio, moving in with my sister while I was being cared for by the Cleveland Clinic. I literally came back home in a wheelchair. So when I tell you I know how it is to start from zero, I think I started from sub-zero because I had to heal first. It took me 2 years to get better. And after the 2 years, I could work again, but I couldn't find a job because my experience was in professional publishing in Pennsylvania. And I'm in Cleveland, not the publishing mecca of the United States, right? Couldn't find a job. So that's when I started LaPav Consulting. It's been 17 years, haven't looked back. Well, once I started, one of my first contracted positions was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. Now, I like to keep it real, right? We're all family today. You know that there are times when us women, we're called in to save the program, sometimes save the day, sometimes save the entire organization. So if you know what I mean, give me a yes in the chat. Well, I started this position and I wasn't there for 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant that would pay for my salary. I had never seen a grant before. I had no knowledge of grants. Oh, I'm seeing some yeses. Oh, you know what I mean, people. I had never seen a grant before. And I'm being told to write a grant that would pay for my job, that would pay for my salary, the saving, my job, the saving, the organization. And this was baptism by fire. All right. But you know what? Ladies, I did it. I researched. I wrote that grant. I won that grant. And it let me know you can win grants with zero experience. There's a process to this. This is what I've learned after being in this industry and having won over $18 million. There's a process to winning, right? I've created a framework, right, that has served me well. And let me say to all of you, if you are going to pursue grant writing, please be in some type of a community where you can get the help that you need, where you can get answers to your questions. I learned that yes, you can write grants with no experience. I also learned what you can do with grant money. I hear from you. I know you're tired of using your own money to fund your organization, right? This is your passion. Doesn't mean that you have to empty your pockets for it. I also learned what you can do with grant money. I know a lot of you are tired of wearing all 20 hats in your organization. Do you know that you can use grant money to hire staff, to hire support, to pay for supplies? Those are just a few things you can do with grant money, right? We'll talk about others a little bit later. What will we talk about today? Why we're even here. I will get you up to date as to what's going on with grants. This is very important for you to know. And then I will show you how to prepare and what do you write in the application and how do you write it so that you're getting noticed by organizations that want to fund you. And then I will show you how to conduct the grant research. And I'm even going to give you a list of grants. Also, we're going to do a Q&A. I am here to help you. All right. So during the Q&A, I want you to put your questions in either the chat or in the Q&A box as we move along. Don't, this is not the time to be shy, ladies, right? This is your opportunity to ask a grants expert your grant questions. We're going to answer them all at the end. Also, I have a bonus surprise for you. Now, I said I'm here to help you, and I am. Therefore, you're going to get a copy of this replay. All right. And look, this is important information. So I'm not charging you for it. I'm not going to charge you for this replay. You will have it for free. You will have it forever. You will have it today. All right. Just consider sharing it with someone, right? Because I want this information to get out to other women's organizations. All right. All right. So let's get started. Let's get started. Why are we here? We're here because we as women leaders, we need access to money. And guess what? It shouldn't always be about loans. Like, are you as tired as I am of hearing about these loans? We want grant funding because grant money is available. But what I want you to understand, all of you, is that you can do this. You can write grants. It's not what it used to be, right? You're not sitting in some corner for 3 months at a time writing some 500-page document. That's what I used to do as a professional grant writer. I used to write those 500-page grant applications. Everything's different now. Many grant applications are 2 and 3 pages. Why? Because foundations don't have the staff to sit back and sort through 500-page documents. So you're saying super short applications so you can do this, but understand there's a process to winning. That's what I've learned after having won over 17, now $18 million. There's a process to winning, and that is what I'm going to show you today. And this is what I need for you to know. It's about more than what you write in the application. I'm going to say that again. It's about more than what you write in the application. I'm going to show you this process now. All right, ready? Now, first, what is going on with grants? Now, we know that the federal grants have been almost shut down, right? They've been cut, they've been rescinded, they've been frozen. But guess what? And this is what I want you to know. Federal grants do not equal all grants. No, grants come from thousands of resources. So right now, as we speak, there are private and community and family and corporate foundations that are providing billions of dollars in grants. And this is what I want you to take away. This is why I want you to be encouraged. The grant money is available. Grants are being given out every single day to women's organizations just like yours. And yes, these are non-federal grants, but also while you are pursuing grants, I need you to diversify your funding a bit. Yes, seek grants, but also seek sponsorships. During the Q&A, I want somebody to ask me the difference between a grant and a sponsorship. Most of you should be pursuing sponsorships. And then what about individual donations, right? Corporate contracts. Do you know that you don't have to be a huge organization to get a corporate contract? You can be a solopreneur and get a corporate contract. All right, so diversify that funding. Now, there is a unique opportunity that exists right now for you that didn't even exist last year. This is why you've got to make lemonade out of these lemons that they're throwing us. Let me say this to you. Right now, because there are non-federal grants that are available, but people don't know about them, people are thinking there are no grants. So fewer people are applying for grants. This means there's a little less competition now. So what are you going to do? You're going to swoop in and start applying for these grants. All right. Number two, your local community foundations, your corporate foundations, your family foundations, guess what they're doing? They are increasing the amount of their grants, trying to fill in the gaps caused by the federal grant cuts. We know that the need is as great as ever. So that means grants are literally increasing in many of these foundations. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to swoop in and start applying for these grants. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about DEI. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Look, we know that the federal government has shut down DEI funding. But guess what? Many of these foundations, this is who they give to. So DEI means what? Women of any ethnicity, communities of color, even your veterans, even the disabled. And foundations give to these communities. And guess what? They're not just going to stop giving to these communities just because the White House is saying that they can't, because this is who they support. How are they getting around this? How are they still being able to give grant funding to your organizations, but avoiding the wrath coming from the White House? They are tweaking that language. In the grant world, we call it quiet DEI. They're tweaking their language. So instead of talking about ethnicity and race in their grants, they're talking about the outcomes and the barriers and the conditions that are being addressed by their grant money. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this because this is what you're going to do. This is how you're still going to get grant money, even though DEI is being cut. Because there are many organizations like the Ford Foundation and the Kellogg Foundation, they are doubling down on their commitment to DEI. Please don't think DEI funding, right? It has totally gone away. Many of these foundations are doubling down. You go to their websites, they proudly proclaim, this is where we give. I was just in the Victoria's Secret's headquarters last week, right? They invited me to talk about their DEI program. There are many organizations that are doubling down on their support of DEI issues, women and minorities, right? So again, be encouraged, right? This is what you're going to do. In the grant world, we call it quiet DEI. So, for example, let's say you have a program where you offer youth development opportunities for Black boys. This is who you serve. You don't stop serving Black boys because of what's going on in the White House. This is your target. But you're going to tweak that language now. So instead of saying our program offers youth development opportunities for Black boys, you're now going to say we provide youth development for historically underserved and underrepresented boys. These are the buzzwords: underserved, underrepresented, or serving boys disproportionately impacted by economic and educational inequities, right? You tweak that language. The same is for women. Let's say you have a coaching program. Let's say you provide employment and career coaching for women. You don't stop serving women. That's your target audience, but you tweak that language. So now instead of saying we provide employment and career coaching for women, you might say our program offers workforce development support for those facing systemic barriers to career advancement. Women, right? Again, we call it quiet DEI. Or you might say we provide career development services tailored to those who experience unique workforce challenges due to what? Caregiving responsibilities, wage gaps, and systemic inequities. You know, you're talking about women. This is very important for you to get. So give me a yes in the chat if you understand this. This is how you're still going to get grant money, even though they have quote unquote cut DEI. You're going to tweak your language a bit. So give me a yes if you understand this, because this is very important for you to get and to know. This is how you're still going to get this money. All right. I'm seeing some yeses. Yes. All right. All right. All right. Now, let's get back to the basics. What do you need to know about grants? Grants are not paid back. Now, for those of you with the nonprofit, make absolutely sure you get your 501c3. That's your tax exempt status by the IRS. It's going to be a requirement if you're going to get grants. So make sure you get the 501c3. Right now, it's taking about 8 weeks to get from the IRS. All right. Very important. Now, I want everybody to look at this slide. This is annual grant giving. The best numbers we have is from 2023, but these numbers are expected to increase for 2024 and 2025. Look at this slide. This is foundation and corporation, and to a smaller extent, bequest giving. Do you see federal funding anywhere on this slide? No. This is the money that is still available, $189 billion given in 2023, expected to increase now. This money is being given out every single day. How are you going to place your organization in position to get it? And I want you to look at this number, 189 billion, but I don't want you to be intimidated. Too often you see these large numbers and you're like, oh, Linda, there's no way I can get any of this money. Yes, you can, because you're going to focus on what you need. At the end of the day, you just need a little bit of $189 billion. So all of you, write this in the chat. I just need a little bit. That's what I want you to write, all of you in the chat. Focus on what you need. So write, I just need a little bit. Nobody's trying to be greedy, right? You're not trying to get it all. That's right, Kenyana. You just need what you need. You just need a little bit of this $189 billion pie. This is a huge pie, Linda. Right, Deidre, Michelle, Davika? This is a lot of money, Cornelia. Right? You just need your piece. You just need your slice. Look, ladies, I'll take the crumbs. I'll take the crumbs that fall from $189 billion. Right? So just focus on what you need. Don't be intimidated by these large numbers. Now, next, I need for you to be grant ready. This is where organizations fail. They just start applying for grants without being grant ready. I want you to download onto your computer some type of editing program. This will help make you a better writer. I happen to love Grammarly. Grammarly is free. If you use Grammarly, give yourself some love in the chat. It is a free software editing tool. Ladies, as you write, it will self-correct. Why am I talking about this? Because I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. It's so easy to do. I am a professional editor, a professional writer, and a professional grant writer. I wouldn't write without Grammarly. No way would I write without Grammarly. It's free. It's free. You download it. Nobody's using Grammarly. You've got to use Grammarly. Download Grammarly and then download this article because it's going to help make you a better writer too. Improve writing skills dramatically by doing these 15 things. Make sure you're checking out the chat because I'm going to be putting some important links in there. Also, how else do you become grant ready? Do you have your EIN, your employer identification number? Nonprofits, do you have your 501c3? For profits, are you a legitimate organization? Do you have your articles? Nonprofits, especially, you need your list of board members. All of you need letters of support. It will strengthen your grant application. Don't be afraid to ask people to support you. Name drop if you have to. Do you know the mayor? Do you know politicians? Have them write you a letter of support. It could be your community leaders, your pastor, your church. And all of you need an operating budget, but I don't want you to freak out at this term operating budget. You can download a template online. All it is you listing what you think your expenses are going to be over the course of the next year. Because you really do need to know approximately how much money is going to take for you to operate, right? And when you have some idea, it will help you determine how much grant money you need. Now, if you are currently operating, you need your financial documents, your balance sheet, and your profit and loss statement. All right. And again, these are templates you can download from the internet. Now, let's get into the grant application. I'm going to give you best practices for the most important parts of the grant application that you will see. All right. Let's start with the mission statement. It is critical. All of you must have one. Yes, even you small businesses, because your mission not only defines who you are and what you do, it's going to lead you to that foundation that wants to give you grant money because you're going to align your mission to theirs. Because if you're focused on childcare, you want to make sure that you are seeking money from an organization that also funds childcare. So if you don't have a mission statement, that's homework 101. Next, this is what is going to set you apart from everybody else. When you submit this grant, it is how you describe your organization. And I need for all of you to focus on one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? I want you to use real numbers. You have a homeless ministry. How many people have you placed in shelters? And what happens when they get to the shelter? Do they go on to get their GED? Maybe they go on to get a job. Maybe they go on to get permanent housing, right? You need to track your success. Track your success. How many people are you helping? Let's say you have a small business, you have a restaurant. How many people do you serve a year? How many employees do you have? When you hire somebody, it changes their life. That's impact. Does that restaurant have any other connection to the community? Maybe you have a little cooking school. If so, how many people, right? What is the impact on the community? Maybe you haven't even opened. Maybe you have a startup. You still need to write about impact using real numbers, but now you're going to project. So let's say you have a tutoring organization that you haven't opened, but you know you want to tutor high school kids in math. You can write in the application that I project that once high school students complete my tutoring program, they will increase their math proficiency scores by 5%. Now I'm projecting, still using real numbers. So it doesn't matter if you are open or if you are going to open, you still have to write about impact using real numbers. Track your success, track your numbers. And when you write, you must write as if you're solving a problem or addressing a need. That's how foundations give. Who are you helping, right? What is the need? What is the problem? And there's always a problem. Small businesses have a really tough time with this question. But think about this. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a for-profit bakery. You want a $20,000 grant to move downtown. You might be thinking, what is the problem? She's making cakes all day, right? What is the issue that she's solving? Maybe she decided to open up a vegan bakery, right? Because vegans don't have a lot of great places to buy like baked goods, so she's solving their problem. Or maybe she's seeking an economic development grant because she wants to really be able to contribute to the community that she's moving in because it's underserved. So that's the problem she's solving, economic development for the community. Doesn't matter whether you are a for-profit or a nonprofit, this is how you have to write because it's going to lead you to the foundation that wants to give you money because every foundation gives to a particular category. So you have to define what yours is. There's one foundation that gives to jewelry companies, right? There's another foundation that gives to people who serve the homeless. You have to find out what the focus is for these foundations. How do you do that? You go to their websites. This is where you have to know where and how foundations fund so that you can match your programming or your service to theirs. Now, how do you find out? You go to their websites, but 90% of foundations don't have a website. That's where you sometimes have to be a little creative in getting information about them. But whatever you do, make sure that you know what issue you're solving. And all of you have a decision to make, though. When you are seeking grants, there's either operating grants or program project grants. You have to ask for one or the other per foundation. Now, here's the difference. We love to get an operating grant because an operating grant allows you to decide where to put the grant money. You can put it anywhere you want, typically, towards salaries, your lease, your IT, right? It really helps you to pay for your administrative cost, build up your capacity. Those are operating grants. Only about 32% of foundations give those kinds of grants. Most grants have to go to a program or a project or a service of your organization, which is okay. Let's go back to the restaurant. Maybe she wants to start a delivery service. That could be a project of the restaurant. But whatever you do, always apply to multiple foundations. Ladies, this is not a one and done industry. Now, I want you to tell me in the chat why you think it is important for you to always apply to more than one foundation. Let me know in the chat. I want you to think of this as a marathon, like not a sprint, right? You must apply to multiple foundations at all times. This is not one and done. Exactly, Davika, increase your likelihood of winning a grant. You have to remember, right, Michelle, you don't know what grants you'll win. Grants are not guaranteed. Don't let anybody tell you they can guarantee you a grant. This is how people get scammed, by the way. Social media. I see it all the time. Oh, come over here. apply here, everybody wins. No, they're 99.9% of the time, these people are scammers. You have to apply to multiple foundations because there's no such thing as guaranteed grant money, right? So be careful and apply to multiple foundations. You should always have more than one grant application in the pipeline. And also, community foundations, this question is going to be on the grant application. It is so important for you to have an answer. Every single one of you should be partnering with community organizations. Doesn't matter how small your town is. This is critical because your community partners can help you get grant funding. Let me give you a couple of examples. Let's say you have an accounting firm. Go to your local library, give an hour tax talk every month. You're going to have a willing audience. Everybody wants to know about what's going on with their taxes. But what does this have to do with grants and a grant application? When you go to that library, they're going to promote you, which means they're going to increase your level of visibility. This is good news for you because when foundations give funding, they're always looking to see who's doing what in the community. And by you connecting with a library, which I think are criminally underutilized, they're promoting your tax talk. So when you go to that foundation for a grant, maybe they've already heard of you, which is a good thing. All right. Now, let me give you another example. Let's say a young lady has an ex-offender program. All right. She's helping those who've been jailed once they're released back into society to become successful members. You don't want them going back to jail, right? So she has an ex-offender program. She has to meet with the inmates before they are released to make sure they qualify for her program. I want you to tell me in the chat, who should she be connecting with in her community? Who should her community partnerships be? Now think about this. She has to connect with the jail system in order to interview the inmates, make sure they qualify for her program. I want you to tell me, who should her community partners be? Who should they be? Let me know in the chat. Who should she be meeting with? That's right, Linda, absolutely. Correctional facilities. Yes, she needs access to the inmates. The probation department, absolutely, she should be meeting with them. You need to meet with well-respected organizations in your community because oftentimes they can refer you to other organizations in the community for grant funding. A lot of these organizations know where the funding is in their communities. They know where the money is. But you need to answer this question on the grant application, right? So who else should she be meeting with? You don't want the inmates to be homeless. Maybe there's a transitional housing facility. You want them to get jobs, right? You don't want them to go back to jail. They need to be trained. Maybe there's some type of workforce development program, right? That can train them in a skill. These should all be her community partnerships, right? Maybe there's a community college that will allow the inmates to get a GED, right? So this does not have to be difficult. This is what I want you to do. This is your homework. I want you to name 5 organizations that you're going to meet with in your community based on your organization, right? Name 5, and that way, by the time you complete this application, you will already have a list. All right. Now, we're on to the money. This is called the grant budget. This is how you're going to explain how you're using the funding. How are you using these people's grant money to support your organization? But you have to itemize your expenses. So if you're looking for maybe a $50,000 grant to hire an executive director, explain how the money is being spent. What is the hourly rate for the executive director? How many hours is a person working a week? How many weeks out of the year? You need supplies. How many supplies do you need? Who is going to be using the supplies? How you explain your use of the grant money goes into the budget narrative. The numbers go into the budget. Got that? Now, this is the slide here. This is often the factor as to whether or not you get grant money. Did you meet with the foundation first before you send in the grant application because foundations want to create a relationship with you. You need to do some relationship building. Yes, you need to meet with the foundation first. So if you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. You want to meet with them. They have the resources, they have the grant money. They want to meet with you. They want to get to know you, to get to know you better. Plus, in this meeting, they will give you tips about how to complete the grant application that's not even on their website. I always think about one meeting I set up with a client, 30-minute Zoom meeting, 30-minute Zoom meeting, got $30,000. Why? Because the mission's aligned. And notice I said Zoom meeting. Yes, a lot of these meetings can be Zoom. You don't necessarily need to meet with these foundations in person unless they are located in close proximity to you. Then you can meet them in person. Other than that, 30-minute Zoom meetings. All right. So, like, what are you thinking? Like, I don't know. I think some of you are still saying, "Oh, Linda, this may be good, but I don't have time. I don't have time to write these grants, Linda." Well, remember what I said at the beginning, right? That a lot of these grants are 3, 4, 5 pages. They're not these 500-page documents. And also with AI, oh my gosh, ChatGPT will give you your time back when you are writing and researching these grants. So it will give you your time back. All right. So I have a question for you, especially those that are thinking, I don't know, Linda, I don't know if I have time for this. I have a question I would like an answer in the chat. Do you have time to get free money? Do you have time to get free money? I don't know if anybody has time to get free money. Let me see in the chat. Let me see if, oh, I see yes. I see yes, yes. I see absolutely. I see I do and I will make time. I see yes, yes, yes. So it sounds to me like you've got time to get some free money. So if you've got time to get free money, I need for you to spend just a little bit of time on the process to get the free money. All right. Now, let me go back one. Let me share another little secret with you. How do you meet with the foundation? Send them an email introducing your organization, aligning your mission and your service to theirs, and then you ask for a meeting. Never, ever, ever ask for grant money in the email. You're going to get a rejection letter, and the email asks for a meeting. In the meeting, you ask for the money. All right. I'm giving you tips on how you not just write grants, how you win grants. All right. We're on to grant research. This is how you find the money. Listen, ladies, Google is fine, but there are times where you have to go beyond Google to go to a legitimate grant site that will give you information about grants. The Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of information in the U.S. on grants. They're also called Candid, CANDID. Now, they're $50 a month to subscribe. So spend your $50 to get you a list of grants for a month. Or you can get totally free access at your local library. Tell the librarian you want to be connected to Foundation Directory Online to search for grants. Grants.gov, believe it or not, there are still some federal grants available. Lilly Foundation, largest funded religious organizations. Do you have a church with me or a faith-based organization? Yes, there are grants for you. Grant Watch, love them. They give you the synopsis of the grant, the deadline, the link to the application, the contact information, $20 a week or $200 for the whole year. Grant Station, $200 for the whole year. And then UrbanAwarenessUSA.org, they happen to be Black owned. They drop information on 2 or 3 grants every week for free. Sign up. Tell them Linda sent you. Now, let me show you how you actually conduct the grant research. This is how you find grants based on your organization. All right. This is Grant Watch. Look to my left where it says apply filter. Start completing the categories. Who are you helping? Who is that target population? What is the industry that you're serving in? Where are you located? What is your location? Are you a nonprofit or small business? Input the information, push a button, you will get a list of grants based on your organization, right? Now, let's talk about location because a lot of you are leaving money on the table. Whatever you do, please start local. Start searching for grants locally. It is easier to get local grant funding, but also don't overlook the national grants. Don't be intimidated by these national grants. They are there to fund you, right? Because there could be a foundation headquartered in Texas and they're giving grants to you and you're in Tennessee. All right. And for my international friends, this is absolutely for you as well. This is not just for organizations based in the US. So maybe you're in Kansas and you serve a population in Africa. Yes, you can still get grants. Now, I have just a short list here. HelloAlice.com. Right now, they have at least 3 grants listed. Those grants are typically for women-owned businesses. Do you have a brick and mortar? Maybe you have a physical location. There's a Main Street grant. Amber grants for women, they give away $30,000 every single month. And guess what? They have a $10,000 startup grant. And guess what? Their startup grant is truly for startups. Like they're giving money out just based on your idea. You will not need to have even made one penny. Now, if you need more significant funding, like up to $150,000, you've got 37angels.com. I Fund Women, they have a lot of grants, especially for nonprofits. Sky's the Limit, that's a startup grant. Amarillo. See the word small nonprofit? You don't need some huge conglomeration. You can have a super small nonprofit. That's where Amarillo focuses on their grant money. Or maybe you're not big enough to have even paid anyone. Maybe you're like, Linda, I haven't even paid myself. All volunteer nonprofits get grants every day. All volunteer ones, yes. Don't think you need some huge organizational chart. All right. Now, really quickly, I want you to drop into the chat. Let me know the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money. Banks and money. Loans. What else? Banks and money. What else? Mortgage. What else? What else do you think about when you think about banks? Interest rates. Yes. Business credit. Loans and interest. Did you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money? Grant money in the United States. You haven't been going to the right bank. It's probably not even your bank. It doesn't have to be your bank. It can be a bank with a headquarters office in your community or a regional office or maybe a family bank. I'm giving you 4 hot leads right now. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, TD Banks, Truist. They provide either nonprofit or small business grants. You have to meet with them. But I give you this information to let you know that there are billions of dollars in grant money available every single day that have nothing to do with the federal government, right? So if you're not applying for these grants, you're missing out. You're missing out big. Now let's talk about ChatGPT. Let's say you want to use AI to help you write grants. It is phenomenal. It will give you your time back. It will help you edit and retool and research and write the grant. But there's no magic button here that you push and poof, a magical grant application. No, you have to feed AI, right? You have to feed it prompts. And so you have to know how to write just the basics about your organization so that you have information to feed into AI. So you've got to learn how to write your mission, your need statement, your project, your service, your impact statement. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's what ChatGPT is for. You load it in there and let it help you, let it rewrite it for you, but you've got to understand how to write. Especially if some of you might want to work with a grant writer. You need to know what they should be asking you. This is where my bonus surprise comes in. I have written a grant writing course that will help you write your grant application, the basics of it. And if you want to use ChatGPT, you can, but you've got to learn how to write the basics. And your little secret weapon is going to be me because I'm going to serve as your grant coach. Remember, I said earlier, if you are seeking grants, please be in a community where you can get the help that you need. This is why people give up. They get frustrated. There's nobody to answer their questions. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know if this is the right grant. They don't know where to search for the grants, right? You spend a lot of time and effort to then get a rejection letter because that wasn't the right grant to begin with, right? I'm going to serve as your coach with this course. This is how I won almost $18 million. I put in a course for you so that you could do the same, so that you learn how to write every part of the grant application. You learn how to research and find the right organizations so that you're not wasting time. And I'm your coach. So let me tell you how the coaching works. We have a private Facebook group. You come into the Facebook group, you ask me any question you want about your grant application, about finding grants, searching for grants, and you get real answers from not bots, people, me. I'm in there all the time. So let's say you set up the meeting with the foundation. Do you know what to ask them? Do you know what you bring to the meeting? Do you know what you never leave that meeting without knowing? You come into the Facebook group, you let us know you're going to meet. We'll give you the information that you need, right? Now, the course will teach you how to write your budget, even your grant budget. Do you know how much money you should be asking for? Come into our Facebook group, let us know what you're doing, and we can give you guidance on what you should be asking for. Because a lot of grant applications, by the way, does not put a number to the grant. A lot of the community foundations, there's no numbers. You have to let them know what you need, but you can't go in asking for $1 million on day one, right? So the course has 12 modules. There's 35 lessons. You get videos for my visual learners, right? But here's where this course is totally different than what else is on the market. I've been in this industry 17 years. I used to be hired to write, like build a grant application, write the grant questions. I've utilized those questions in the course. So this is like you completing a thorough grant application, but now you have all the help you need, right? From us, from professionals, from me, so that when you're done with that grant application, you have a grant template. So as you're answering my questions in the course, when you're done, you have that grant template. You're going to take that template and apply to grant after grant after grant. This is why this is much faster and easier. And then you have the support that you need, which is very important so that you don't get stuck, so that you don't get frustrated or give up. All right. And then I give you winning grant examples so that you know what a winning grant example looks like. You know what's being funded. And I even have course bonuses. I said I was here to help you. You're going to get a list of over 600 organizations that are providing grants. Yes. I talked about the private Facebook group. Oh, it is everything because guess what? You also want to know where there are grants? We drop grants in the Facebook group all the time. So you can at any time come to the Facebook group, see a list of grants. And I said I was here to help you. And I said I would make myself accessible. You get an hour of monthly group coaching every month. Make sure you don't get stuck. Look, we're here to help you get grant money, right? Not just write a bunch of grants, but to start winning grant money. So on that group coaching call, and I say an hour, typically it's like 2 to 3 hours because I don't leave until every question has been answered. We get you where you need to go, right? You have help so that you're not frustrated. Now, I want you to look at these numbers. They are very important, but you're not even paying a fraction of this for my course, which is intentional, by the way. 12 modules, 35 lessons, worth $3,549. Why? Because I've had my course audited 3 times now. Make sure I'm giving you what you need. This is like a much, much easier college level course, but you get all the help that you need. The videos are worth $5.99, the funding list $4.99. Yes, you get workbooks and grant trackers and planners worth $3.50. So guess what? My auditors have told me, Linda, this is a $5,000 course. I have coaches too. They think I'm like crazy, like Linda, this is a $5,000 course. Why are you basically giving it away? Because I believe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And there are so many hurdles and challenges placed in our way as women. I am not going to be another one of them. So I provide a price for the course that is a fraction of what it's worth so that I can help as many people as possible. All right. So I don't want you to be fooled by this number. It's a $5,000 course. This is what I want you to look at. The price is $997. Because of what's happening this year, I know you need more help. It's reduced to $497. That is what people pay for a $5,000 course. That's 90% off. You came on the webinar. I'm going to help you some more because you came on the webinar. You could have been somewhere else said, no, you're letting me know you need help. I'm here to help you. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, right? With my time right now on this earth is to help you. So please take $200 off of the $497. You're only going to pay $297 for this $5,000 course if you can get it in the next 3 days. Take the $200 off. People are happy to pay the $497. You can pay the $297 if you use this code. This is very important, AUG19. That's the code that you're going to use to take off the $200 so that you're only paying $297 for everything. The course, the coaching, the Facebook group. Those of you who need more help, you can get more help. We have a little 2-month payment plan. That's $175 a month for 2 months. This is a different code, though. Put a T on the back of the code, AUG19T, T for 2-month payment plan. And remember I said I'm here to help you. The course never expires. When do you see that? When do you see that? You will have the course forever. You will have the help forever. All right? Because what should you be doing? Applying for multiple grants. So yes, you get the course, the Facebook group, the coaching. Oh, by the way, write everything off as tax deductible. Everything's tax deductible. It's an expense. And you even get a certificate of completion. All right? So you have until Friday. Now, here's a bonus for you. Because some of you are like caught up on this time thing. I wrote the AI grant guide, 10 steps to easier and faster grant writing. It's $200. I'm going to throw it in for you. I'm going to give this to you when you buy the course because I don't want you thinking you don't have time. I actually give you the bonus prompts. It couldn't be easier. I give you the prompts when you're talking to ChatGPT. And when you go through my course, the writing that you're going to write, you can plug it into AI. It can literally perfect what you've written. So you don't have to be afraid about, oh, this doesn't sound good enough. This is literally the way that you are going to start winning grants. All right. So if you want to buy the course, the link is in the chat. For those of you who want to pay the $297, click the link. You will see this page here. Click $497 because remember you have a $200 coupon. You will see this page here. Click, have a coupon. It will take off $200. You're paying $297. Now you see this little block here, and this is actually incorrect, but I'm going to give it to you for this price. If you want to meet with me privately, one-on-one, a private session, you and me, I do a deep dive into your organization. Before you, and I talk about grants, I'm going to look at your mission, your vision, your infrastructure, your service or your program, and you even leave with a little mini list of grants. Now, this is supposed to be $247, but clearly this was not changed. So I'm going to honor the $195 price. So if you want to get it for $195, you can get it for $195, and we will just credit you the $50. You'll get it right back. All right, because this is actually $247. It's normally $495. If you buy it without getting the course, it's $495. The only time you get this discount is if you buy it with the course. All right, so you can add it right on. So the course is $297. The private session with me is normally $247, but you're going to get it for $195. And yes, you get a video and the session notes. You walk away with complete clarity, right? Because I want to make sure you're getting the information that you need. And for those of you who are familiar with buy now, pay later, you can use Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna, right? So even that $297 that you pay, you can take it over 4 payments, $75 a month. I don't even know of a $75 grant, right? $75 a month. Now, if you want to do the buy now, pay later, when you go to pay, You might have to hit this box a couple of times that says pay another way or different payment options before you see a firm or Klarna, or the drop down menu will say Afterpay. So just keep clicking pay another way, and eventually you'll see a firm or Klarna. Other than that, if you just want to make the one payment, we take credit cards, bank withdrawal statements, PayPal, Cash App, Google Pay. All right. And I talked to you again. I said that I do have a little 2-month payment plan. If you want that, click 2 times 275. That's what other people are paying. Remember, you have a coupon. You're taking $100 off per month. So for 2 months, you're only paying 175 a month. Use the code, what is it? AUG19 with the little T on the end of it, and it will take off the $100. So you're paying 175 a month. So you have your options, 175 a month for 2 months, right? Or 279 or 297, one and done. And then with the 297, if you want, you can spread it out over your 4 payments. All right. And then I'm giving you the private grant coaching for 195. It's supposed to be 247, but I'll give it to you for 195. Now, I want you to look at these testimonials because this is happening now. This is very important for you to understand. This is happening now. In this crazy grant world, people are telling you there are no grants. My student, Nicola, she's not a professional grant writer. In June, she won $250,000. She's not a professional grant writer. She took the course. She's doing exactly what I'm telling you to do. She only applied for $50,000, by the way, over 2 years. They took one look at her grant application and said, oh my gosh, we need you to expand this program to our other areas. Let's counter. Here's $250,000. This was in June, during the same time that people are assuming there are no grants. And by the way, she has an LLC. For those of you who are thinking small businesses don't get grants, she has a for-profit. Whitney, $200,000. Remember I said go local and national? She went to her utility companies. Oh my gosh, people, do you know that your major utility companies have significant foundations? She got $40,000 from hers, but she's following my framework. What I don't want you to do is think, okay, I've been on this webinar. I've been given a little bit of information. Let me go try to do it myself. What happens? What happens? You don't know where to go. You may get confused. You may be wasting time applying for grants you shouldn't be applying to. These people are following my course, my framework that has won over $18 million. Now Whitney has $200,000. Kanisha has $100,000. These are six-figure grants being won now. Kimberly, $84,000. She has a nonprofit. Cherie, $11,000. Right? A massage company got $20,000. It's not about what you do. There's grant money available. You have to know where and how to look. If you are doing something legal, if you have a legal organization, a legal nonprofit, a legal for-profit, oh, there's grant money. You have to know where to find it. This is a massage company in Charlotte. They got $20,000. Christina has an online educational company. You don't need a physical store to get a grant. No, she got $10,000, right? So before we go off, I want to invite you to a special event I'm having next Wednesday at 7 p.m. It's called the Grant State of the Union. I'm doing a deep dive into what's going on with grants, right? We're going to be on for about 2.5 hours, and you will get to ask any question that you want, but I'm doing a deep dive into grants. So it's called the Grant State of the Union. Melissa, if you could drop the link into the chat, and I'll do it here as well. It's a little bit.ly link. I'm inviting you all. Oh, they didn't go to the right place. There you go. Thank you. You're all invited. You're going to get even more information, right, about what's going on with grants right now. And as it pertains to you, right? Because you can ask questions about your industry, your organization. So please, please, please sign up. Don't miss out, and share that link with other people who are thinking there's no grant money available, and there are billions of dollars All right, we're going to do the Q&A. It's time for the Q&A. Time for the Q&A. Now, I'm going to start in the Q&A box, and then I'm going to go over to the webinar chat. Okay, really quickly. So this is what I'm going to do for those of you who are asking how to get how to buy the course. I'm going to do this live. Here, let me share my screen and do this live. Really quickly, I'm going to share my screen. There we go. Those of you who want to pay the $297, remember, hit the link, hit $497, right? Input your coupon code, which is what? AUG19. Hit apply. It's taking up $200. You're only paying $297. Here's the private grant coaching. Remember I said it's $247. That was a mistake that said $195, but I'm going to definitely give you that price. Just add it on, right? Add on the $247. You'll get the $50 credit. And you've got $554, but you don't have to get the grant coaching. That is optional. Put in your email address. And for those of you who want the 4-month same as cash, which is amazing, this is a payment method box. You may see Affirm, Cash App, right? Klarna, Afterpay right away. So the 4-month same as cash, you choose Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna. You may have to keep hitting pay another way for the boxes to come up. If not, we take PayPal, credit card, or we have the 2-month payment plan. 2 times 275, hit purchase now. Put in your coupon code, which is AUG19 with the little T for 2 months. You're paying $175 a month for 2 months and you're done. All right. And then, yes, you can add on the private group coaching. All right. I'm going to stop sharing. Back to the Q&A. Kenyana, when should I start applying for grants, especially if I'm new to starting a nonprofit? You start applying now, because there are startup grants, right? There are startup grants. So you don't wait. Now, yes, it's always good to have impact, but remember I said, if you haven't started and you don't have impact, I want you to talk about what you project your impact will be. What do you project will happen if someone takes advantage of your program or your service or whatever it is that you are providing? So you don't have to wait until you have impact. It's always best to have impact, but if you are a startup, there are startup grants. All right, so you don't necessarily have to wait to get grant funding. Do I need high numbers to be eligible for grants? What high numbers are you talking about? Let me know what high numbers you mean. What platforms can I use to find grants? We already went through that. Is government contracting the same as federal, state grant funding? Absolutely not. Let me answer both of those questions. What platforms can I use to find grants? I gave you Grant Watch. Grants, so you're going to get the replay. Go back to that slide when you get the replay. Grant Watch, Grant Station, the Foundation Directory Online, right? There's another one called Grant Portal. That's not on that list. Grant Portal. I'm going to place this in the chat. Grant Portal is another one that you can go to. www. I think it's called thegrantportal.com. Your next question, is government contracting the same as federal state grant funding? No. When you are seeking government contracting, you need to bid on that contract. They will release what's called an RFP. Now, they may have grant money to pay you, right? But you still have to bid on it, right? You get a contract where you are providing a service for, it could be the government, it could be a company. Remember, corporations and companies, they have contracts too. But there's a process. Also, if you are going after government contracts, you really do need to be certified as either a woman business enterprise, a WBE, or a minority business enterprise, an MBE, or maybe EDGE certifications means you are from like a vulnerable population. That's when you need certifications to apply for the grants that we're talking about, the corporate grants, the community foundation grants, the private foundation grants. No, you don't need a certification. But if you're going after contracting or government grants, you do. All right. So contracting is totally different than your state and federal and county grant funding. Don't leave out city and county. Do you know that your municipality, your city government, they have grants? Have you ever met with them to find out what grants they have? They have grants too. It's not just federal and state, it's county and city. But so what they will do, sometimes they will put out the information to say this grant is available. Come apply for the grant, fill out the application. All right. But that's why you need to meet with them so that you get this information ahead of time. All right. All right. Let me go over to the webinar chat. So, where are the grants pertaining to mental health and youth? You have to find them. You have to use one of those grant portals that I showed you, right? So, let me see if I can do this really quickly. I'm going to try to do this live really, really quickly. I'm going to pull up Grant Watch and I want to show you. Let me log in here really, really quickly, really super, super quickly. Let's see. They change. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. So you said, what did you say? Mental health and youth. Let me share mental health and youth. This is Grant Watch. They're $20 a week or $20 for the whole year. I need to know what state you're in. Let me know quickly what the person that asked me that question. What state are you in? Here, let me get back to the chat. You're in Washington. So we're gonna put, you said mental health. Let's go mental health. All right. So mental health. So this is Grant Watch, right? $20 a week or $200 for the year. So I click mental health. Your geographical focus, you're in Washington. Right. Let's click Washington. Search by recipient. You're a nonprofit. I think you said you're a nonprofit, right? So we're searching for mental health grants in the state of Washington. Let's click, see what we got. What came up? 90 grants came up. So you're going to sort through each and every one of these grants to see which one pertains to you. These are all mental health grants in Washington, right? So when you pull this up, you're going to look through here and see which ones apply to you. You're going to apply. It is not difficult. It's not difficult, right? And then my grant writing course teaches you how to do this in depthly. I just gave you a quick example. The course will teach you how to do this in depthly and teach you how to start writing and teach you the process. Because what is the next thing you're going to do? You're going to meet with the organization if you can, if at all possible. All right. All right. This is just Grant Watch, by the way. Remember, there are other resources that you can also use, right? The Foundation Directory Online, you can do a deep dive with them. You can literally indicate Seattle, Washington. You can indicate the county in Washington, and it's going to give you a list of organizations that provide grants, right? So I can tell you mental health is huge. That's a huge grant category. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. All right, back to the questions. Let's see. Should we be staying away from state and federal grants during this climate? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I heard that Trump is delaying approved funding. I don't know if you were here when we started. There is so go back when you get a chance, go back through this entire webinar and start at the beginning because I mentioned that even though the current administration is freezing grants, right? Is rescinding grants. There are billions of dollars in grants available, even from, first of all, there are still federal grants available, by the way. He hasn't cut out all federal grants, right? But your state grants, this is what you all need to know. All of the state money does not come from the federal government. I'm in the state of Ohio. 2 months ago, I don't think it was 2 months ago, the state of Ohio released a $30 million grant. The state of Michigan released a $20 million grant. Your states still have grants. Not all of their grant money comes from the federal government. States also, right, produce their own grant money. So don't think just because of what's going on in the White House that grants have been wiped away. Nothing could be further from the truth. What did we see? $190 billion will be given out this year, more than that. So what you can't do is let what's going on in Washington, D.C. stop you. All right? Because the grant money is very much available. All right? Let me just see if there are any other grants. Let's see. Any other grant questions? So this was from the Q&A. Let me go over to the webinar chat. What is the license that you said I will be dealing with? DOC. What is the license? I'm not sure what you're asking. Ask me that again. What was the license that you said I will be dealing with? DOC. Just ask that again so I can understand better. Okay, I answered those questions. Let's see. Let me make sure there are no other questions to be answered. I'm just scrolling down through the webinar chat here. You have 4 days to get I'm sorry, you have 3 days to get the discount. You have until Friday to get the discount. Yes, you have until Friday. Yes, you definitely have until Friday. You write it off because it's the course is a business expense or an educational expense, so you get to write it off. But yes. Okay, so I answered those questions. Let's see if there are any others. Rephrase your question about the license. Okay, I have a nonprofit and a for-profit and would like to get a grant to acquire a building to house both businesses. So I get that question a lot about acquiring buildings, right? That's a heavy lift. So the one thing you're going to be asked is what money are you providing? Because now we're talking about significant amounts of money to purchase a building. And what you've got to ask yourself is whether you need to buy the building, right? Because that's a heavy lift. If you have never received a $5,000 grant, are you prepared to get a $500,000 grant? And organizations aren't going to be so ready to give you a $500,000 grant if you have not been able to receive and handle and manage smaller grants. And do you need to buy a building for what you are doing? I get this question a lot about organizations wanting to buy buildings. You do not need to buy a building. You need to start small. So you want to house your two businesses. It's going to depend on what the two businesses are. That's how you get grant money. What are your businesses, right? So let's say one business is a daycare. I don't know what it is, but let's just say it's a daycare. Now you can seek grants for organizations that provide funding for daycare centers. So let's say you want the building to house a daycare center. You're not just looking for grants to buy buildings, you're looking for grants that will provide grant money to those who have daycare centers. So a lot of it has to do with what it is. So arts and media production and programming for what? Right? That could mean anything. Arts and media for what? Like, what are you doing? Do you have is it a media company? Right. So now you want to be searching for media grants. You say arts and media, that's in the category of arts and culture. So when you are seeking grants, seek grants in the area of arts and culture. But what are you doing with it? Do you have a theatrical company? Are you teaching theatrical classes to the community? Now you're in education. Many of you, you included, should be seeking for grants across categories, right? So it so depends on what you're doing when you are searching for the grant. And here's why I say to you, trying to get money to buy a building is going to be a heavy lift. Why not get money to first lease a space for your art and media production company, make it successful, right? Utilize the grant money to pay for leases. Remember, operating grants, you can pay for leases. You can pay for a lease with an operating grant. Lease a space, right? In the lease space, be successful. The more successful you are, the easier it's going to be for you to get additional grant money. To maybe you get to the point where you're ready to buy a building. All right. The same for you who want to create a house for, let's say, the homeless. I get this a lot. People want to buy a house to house the homeless. Instead of thinking about buying a house, which is going to be much more difficult to get grant money to do, lease a space, lease a house, lease a duplex, pay your rent in that space. Take in fewer people. Maybe you start with 3 homeless people. Make your homeless ministry or your homeless program successful, because the more successful you are, the larger grant money you can ask for. Start small. Start small. All right. But for you, you're going to be looking for, okay, for-profit TV and film production. There's a few grants. There's several grants in that area. Yes, even for-profit organizations. So you need to go to media companies. This is another hint for all of you. Go to your industry. Go to your industry. You're in what? For-profit TV and film production? Go to the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. They, I think, put on the Oscars and some of the other programming, right? Go to them and find out whether or not they have a grant. So when you're searching, search for media grants, search for arts and culture. You're saying acting, dance, video production, theater. That's all arts and culture, right? So let me use you as an example because there are multiple categories you should be looking in. One, you're a woman-owned business. Search for grants for women-owned organizations. That's one. You're in arts, acting, dance, video production, theater. Search for grants that are geared towards the arts community, right? If you are teaching at all, you mentioned youth ages 10 to 8. If you're teaching at all, now you're in education. That's a third category you should be seeking grants for. Arts education. Arts education is huge. And yes, there have been cuts to federal grants for arts education, but what are you going to do? You're going to go to your private organizations, your community foundations, even your city, state, county governments to seek grant funding, right? And then when you are seeking your grants through Grant Watch or Grant Station, right, one of the grant portals, you're going to specifically focus on TV and film production. There's a grant right now. This is why you have to be specific about what you do. There's a grant right now by the Ford Foundation. The Ford Foundation is one of those foundations where they don't care what the White House is saying about DEI. You go to the Ford Foundation website, they proudly proclaim, we fund these communities. We're going to continue to fund these communities. Right now, as we speak, there's a grant from the Ford Foundation that is geared towards anybody producing a film about the African American experience, right? So I want you all to be encouraged because the money is available. And I invite you to be a part of my community so that I can help you apply for the correct grants, right? So that you're not wasting time. So you've got 3 days to get the discount to buy the course and come into this community, come into the Facebook group and get the help you need. So you have until Friday, all right, until Friday to get the course. Let's see. Thank you, Michelle. The difference between a grant and a sponsorship. Remember I said most of you should be getting sponsorships? When you get a grant, the foundation cannot expect anything of value from you. Like they can't expect you to give something to them because they gave you grant money. They can't expect you to complete a grantee report. All right. With the grantee report, you're just explaining how you spent their grant money. A sponsorship is totally different. When you get a sponsorship, that organizations are going to expect something from you. Maybe they want their name in your program booklet if you have a program. Maybe they want to speak to your audience if you have an event. Maybe they want an ad in your program booklet. Maybe they want their name on your marquee. Maybe they want to put a little one of their tchotchkes in your swag bag. Let me give you an example. I had a client, she's a marketing firm. She focuses on law firms. So her specialty is marketing to law firms. You have to niche. I say this all the time. You got to niche down. I said, why don't you go to your luxury car dealership? Because we know attorneys are typically higher income individuals. I said, go to your luxury car dealership in your community. Have them give you a $30,000 sponsorship for the ability to place their luxury car in front of your conference. She was giving a conference for her clients. It's a win-win situation. You've got $30,000, and now the car dealership is placing their vehicle right in front of their audience of high income individuals. Most of you should be asking businesses in your community for sponsorship. I didn't even talk about the fact that I give you templates in the course. You have a grant application template. You have an email template. Remember, I said you need to email the foundation to set up the meeting. I have a template. I have a partnership template that you send to the potential partner. I have a sponsorship kit. If you want to create sponsorships to get extra money in, right? All money doesn't come from grants. I have a sponsorship kit for you that you can use right in the Facebook group. All right. So that's the big difference between a grant and a sponsorship, and you should be getting both. All right. So I believe that's it for the questions. I'm going to wrap it up. I don't see any more. So keep in mind, you've got 3 days to get the discount, the $200 discount for the course. It'll be $297 for everything. You'll have the help you need. You'll get the support that you need. You know where to apply, how to apply, right? And even when you come into the Facebook group, this is on a volunteer basis. Let's say you start writing. You might want to put a little piece of your grant application into the Facebook group and say, can anybody just review this for me? There's 2,000 people in the Facebook group. A professional grant writers, CEOs. It's amazing. The support is all collaborative. There's no competition. And plus, you get so many different grants. All right. So hopefully, I will see you in the course in the Facebook group. And if you come to the Facebook group, I'm going to do something special for all of you. I'm going to ask you for a synopsis of your organization. Just give me like 3 or 4 sentences. You do that, I'm going to give you links right away to where I think you should be searching for grants so that you get off to a great start. All of this is $297 that you can write off and then spread over 4 months. All right? $75 a month for 4 months. So, whatever you do, keep moving forward. And whatever you do, do not let fear keep you from writing these grants. As I always say, your success, I'm talking to all of you, is on the other side of your fear. It's on the other side of your fear, right? It's on the other, there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm going to hold your hand. All right. The Facebook group is going to be accessible to you when you buy the course. That's only for people who buy the course. That's for students. For those of you who are buying the course, look for your emails. Immediately, you will get an email with your username and your password to the course. You'll get an invite into the Facebook group. You'll get that immediately. All right, once you buy the course. All right. All right. So hopefully I will see you this week in the course so that you can start getting the help that you need. Whatever you do, do not give up. Whatever you do, I want you to be encouraged. Look for the replay. You'll get it later tonight. Share it. Remember, I said share it. Also, I'm on tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. Melissa, if you could drop the link to the course tonight, if anybody that you know should be on this webinar to get this information about grants, please invite them to come on with me at 7 o'clock tonight so that they can also have the knowledge to start getting these grants. All right. All right. So I want to thank you so much. Ditra, are you a relative of Keisha at all? Keisha Credit. See that you're both in Seattle. Yes. So let me just tell you really quickly. Deirdre here is a relative of Keisha Credit. I flew to Seattle and did a private grant, a boot camp with Keisha. 6 weeks later, the Keisha had never, you can attest to this, Deirdre, Keisha had never written a grant before. Keisha took the boot camp. It was a 2 day session in Seattle. She had never written a grant before. 6 weeks later, she had her first grant. 2 weeks after that, she had a $100,000 grant. She had never written a grant before. 8 weeks after she took that private session with me, she had a $100,000 grant for child care center. All right. So this is real, people. Like this is real. People are getting six-figure grants, not now, right now. Even with all of this craziness, but I said it before, I have created a framework for you. Follow the framework. Follow the framework. Ah, she referred you, right? Well, hopefully I will see you, Ditra. Hopefully you'll buy the course. I'll see you in the course so that I can help you as well because this is real, right? This is real money that's being won by these organizations. I want to thank you so much. My name is Linda Peavy, creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys Winning Grant Proposals, and founder of Lapov Consulting. Whatever you do, I want you to move forward. I want you to be excited about the opportunities, regardless of what you're hearing. You're not getting the full story. Be encouraged and go get your money. Go get your money. All right. Go get your money and let me help you do it. All right. So thank you so much. God bless you. Have a safe and a blessed week. And hopefully I will see you in the course soon. All right. But remember, you have until Friday, right? You have until Friday to get the discount. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Oh, and please come to the Grant State of the Union and share that link as well. You're invited to come. That's next Wednesday. All right. And then share. Melissa, did you drop the link to the session tonight at 7 o'clock? Yes, it's right here. So if you know anybody that wants to join us at 7, grab that link and share it. And hopefully I will see you all soon in the course. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.